Hey guys, I'm Sai and welcome to Ace Podcast Nation and welcome to Keeping It Real, which is our wrestling series. We obviously do series, podcasts and interviews on all sorts of subjects here at Ace Podcast Nation. We have a live football show every Monday. We have a live MMA show every Wednesday. We are adding a brand new boxing series, which is beginning next week with some of the biggest names in UK boxing and indeed the world. Some legend, some current boxers, trainers, all sorts. The first guest is a very good one. It's a trainer of one of the UK's best boxers. And it's going to be a really good series. I'm very positive that boxing fans will love it because some of the names lined up to come on are exceptional. And my co-host for that is his name is Shane Watson. Those of you who caught the show I did with him on Friday night, he's works for S-Jam Boxing Promotions here in the UK, and he's got some big links. He interviewed Evander Holyfield the other day. He interviewed Amir Khan the other day. I think he's either done an interview with Tyson Fury recently, or he's got one coming up. So, like I say, he's got some links to the biggest names in the game. So I'm hoping that maybe he'll share some of the love, bring some of those names over to our boxing series, and we've got obviously lots of other shows and series as well. But anyway, today we are talking wrestling. It is the triumphant return of my co-host after he had a week off last week because he's so busy hustling, getting those interviews with the pro wrestlers. So Mr. Alex McCarthy of Talksport filled in for him. Wasn't the same without him though. Mr. Andrew Thompson, writer and interviewer with Post Wrestling, and of course has his own YouTube channel, which is Andrew Thompson Interviews, custom URL. How are you, sir?
Doing as best as I can, man. It's been a long week, long, long week, and it's not even over yet. It's been feeling like a whole month this week with everything going on and George Floyd's passing, and just the uproar from the black community that's just tired of this shit. Been going on for too long, and I'm glad that it's happening, and it needs to keep happening until something changes, because it hasn't changed. There's been so many times, like, with so many, like, black people have been killed on camera, and nothing has been done at all as far as, like, the people who have done these things, which are mainly police officers. So, like, I'm glad that there's this uproar and everything is, like, happening and all these riots and stuff. I'm glad it's happening. It needs to keep happening until something changes, man, again. So, for those out there who listen to this, listen to your black friends when they trying to educate you on these topics. Stop trying to be so damn defensive. Nobody's saying your life doesn't matter. Stop being a dumbass. We're just saying that all lives can't matter until Black Lives Matter. And if you realize what is going on in the country, or what has been going on for the past decade or the past 100 whatever years, you will see why exactly people say Black Lives Matter. So again, if you're one of those all lives matter people, please, for the love of everything that is good, get your head out of your own ass and realize what people are trying to say. Go educate yourself on the topic. It is not hard at all. If you need help, go to any of your black friends that you know, or go to social media and try to search up things or do your own research. Or it's plenty of GoFundMe's and articles and websites out here that will literally help you and guide you to whatever you're trying to understand as far as when it comes to race and everything that's going on out here. So just listen, please, and hopefully the officers that killed George Floyd go to jail, hopefully. And I'm seeing a lot more cases like Breonna Taylor, who was killed back in March, and Ahmaud Arbery, who was killed back in February. I'm seeing these cases starting to come back up, and they're
I hope
starting to get taken to trial. So hopefully those get resolved as well in the way that they should get resolved.
100%, mate. I hope they look into Sandra Bland's case as well, because that was shady as fuck. She died in custody, I believe, but that was horrific. It's it's one of those things. Like, there's a couple of points I just want to quickly make on it. Um, like, obviously, I've got the kind of privilege of, one, I live in the UK, where number one, police aren't armed unless it's extreme circumstances. And obviously, being white, I don't get racially profiled by police. If I go out late at night in my car, and my car is quite a fast car, I play my music very loud. I don't get pulled over though. But I guarantee you, if I was black and I went out, like I go to the shop sometimes quite late, and I was driving my fast car and I had my music on, I would get pulled over, even in the UK. Now, I said to you the other day, like obviously I'm the father of 3 boys, 2 of which who were teenagers. Obviously, before the lockdown, they'd go out and they'd hang around with their friends and stuff. Now, if I lived in America and I was black and my kids were going out and hanging around with their friends, I'd be petrified that the police would be harassing them, racially profiling them, and just generally giving them grief just because they're black. And you said something there. You said a lot of things, but like one of the things which I think stands out for me the most is it's far too long coming. Like over the last 5 years, for instance, how many videos do you see on YouTube of black people or people of color where they get pulled over in their car, and the first thing they do is they hit record on their phone and they put their hands on the wheel and they be as calm as they don't make any sudden movements. They be as calm as they can. They be as polite as they can because they know that any one wrong word and they'll have their ass dragged out of that car, physically abused. They're always verbally, or very often verbally abused, accused of all different things just because of the color of their skin. That's wrong, and that's disgusting in my book, and it has been going on for far too long. And the other thing I wanted to say, just following on from what you said about the people saying all lives matter, which you see a lot, and I've seen a few people on Twitter, which is a cesspool of I hate Twitter at the moment. Is people saying, "Oh, I'd have more sympathy if they weren't protesting and going around looting and this and that and other." And I was like, I saw someone respond to someone who had said something like this, and they listed off like a load of different things that have happened over the years, where laws have been changed. For instance, women being able to vote in the UK. And they listed off various different things through history which had changed or happened. Children not being forced to work in factories, slavery, whatever it may be. All of those things were addressed, not because people peacefully asked, because there was protests and the public said enough is enough. The people who make the laws, the people who are in charge, they weren't doing what they were supposed to, they weren't making it better. So the general public, the people, stood up and protested until the government and the lawmakers were forced to make changes. How many times have we seen police officers kill an unarmed black man or a teenager or a black woman, whatever it may be, and all they get is put on administrative leave, or they get suspended, or they get retired early? How about they go to fucking prison? And actually, if I kill someone, I'm going to prison. So let's do that. Let's make an example of people, police officers particularly, who abuse their power and their position and kill people. That's not what they're there for. I just wanted to add that. Yeah, it's fucked up, but hopefully change will come from it, my friend. Hopefully, I have, that's my hope long term. As a father, as a human being, I just want to see things change for the better, because I can't imagine having to, because like I explained at the start, like I don't have the same problem that people like black people in America would have. I can go to the shop late and play my music loud and not get harassed. And I got to say, like, even though the police aren't armed in the UK, black teenagers, black young men do get racially profiled in the UK a lot, particularly in London, where there's like a higher rate of crime in urban areas. They do get just stopped for no reason, just because of the color of their skin. And it's the same for in the UK. There's a big problem with like the abuse which Muslims take just because they're Muslims. And I'm sick to the back teeth of it, mate. I'm fed up of it. But let's talk some wrestling, my friends. Let's try and talk something which is just not so infuriating. Obviously, you weren't with myself and Alex last week as we were hoping because you were grinding. So just very quickly, what did you think of Double or Nothing?
Uh, from what I remember, like this, everything's been a blur, bro. Like I honestly haven't really been like super interested in wrestling. Like I'm watching, but like I'm not particularly like focused in on it
Yeah.
per se. But like I mean, it was a good show for what it was. It had the stuff that I like and that I didn't like. I think the best match of the night was probably Sheeta versus Nyla Rose or Chris Statlander versus Penelope Ford. I think those are the two best matches on the show. I enjoyed Brody Lee and Moxley. I really wasn't a big fan of Cody versus Lance Archer. I just feel like they 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 they're two of the same type of style in a way, and it just didn't mesh well. Um, the Casino ladder match, it was nice seeing Brian Cage, of course. And he's going to get his AEW World Title shot at Mox at the Fighter Fest and either night one or night two. And I'm curious to see how that match is going to turn out. I'm not particularly super interested in the in ring portion of it. I'm interested in the build, but the match I'm not so interested in, just because of the styles that they have. But Brian Cage is very athletic, so I'm interested in that. I think they're going to do a program with him and Darby Allin soon. But
Okay.
just because he was the one that injured, quote unquote, injured Darby. So and then the night after Double or Nothing, well, the few days after Double or Nothing, we had Cash Wheeler and Dax Harwood debut, and I'm interested to see what they're going to do in AEW. So yeah, I mean it was a good show. It wasn't bad. I mean they had its ups and its downs, but I mean that's kind of every show. So I mean if I had to rate it, I'd give it like a 7.5 out of 10.
Yeah, I think on the whole, I pretty much enjoyed it. I enjoyed the Moxley match. I enjoyed the two women's match. The Cody match didn't hit it for me at all. I enjoyed Stadium Stampede.
Oh yeah, I
Was
forgot. Oh my god, I forgot all about that. That's
that
why I
was
told me
that
that's
was real good. I thought.
this week been a blur, man. So like I'm not like have this. You have to remind me of some stuff like. But yeah, the state I really like the Stadium Stampede, man. That was a good time. They did really good, like really good with that.
Apparently, that took something like 12 hours to film, which is insane.
Yeah.
But it was very, very good. We've been treated some real good cinematic matches
Where'd
since.
you get that information from, sir? Where'd you
Oh,
get
I
that
don't know.
from?
Some jabronis update, I think.
All
No,
right, that
man.
was funny.
Of course, it
That
was
was funny.
from
That was
Mister
funny. I'm not
Mister
gonna lie.
Andrew Thompson's
he, talk,
post wrestling updates,
he
which are
talking about some
always
some jabroni.
superb. Some jabroni. No. I gotta say, I enjoy it. It was pretty good. I enjoyed it more than I enjoyed Money in the Bank, but as you know, I didn't enjoy a lot of that show, as we discussed previously. All right, so let's see as we're talking AEW to start. Let's jump to the AEW TV. As you mentioned, we had the debut of
the debut,
FTR.
the debut,
Um,
as
we
Matt
obviously
Riddle
we had
says.
the debut the week before. We'll get on to Matt Riddle, by the way. I nearly forgot. I didn't get to tell you last week, but because you obviously weren't here. But Brian Cage. I called it again. I was right. Come
I
on
don't remember
now.
what you're talking about, brother. But
Credit
we can
where
get on to the
credit's
next
due.
topic. I don't know
You
what you're
all
talking
you
about, but we
your
can get on to
memory,
the next
man.
topic. We
Your
can get on to the
memory.
next topic. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what you call a pathological liar right here. So we just go, so so we just going to keep it moving because apparently I'm stealing ideas and tweeting about it. So and I don't recall any of these things. So again, another liar. So Size
Yeah.
just upset because NXT UK ain't coming back, and that's what I heard. That's the scoop. That's the
Is
scoop
it?
that I heard. No,
Well,
no, no, no. I was just joking. I don't know about
yeah,
that.
don't wind me up. Someone will clip that now. Andrew Thompson said the NXT UK is cancelled. No, I mean, in
No,
fairness,
but besides did predict
uh,
Brian Cage, he did
no,
have to
I
give
was
him his
going to say, in
props.
fairness, as soon as I said Brian Cage, you said, "Oh yeah, I forgot about him," and then we kind of both agreed that it was probably quite likely because everyone knew he was signed, but everyone had forgotten about him. He's so different to everything they've got. Obviously, when I said FTR debuted, that was last week, but obviously me and you didn't discuss that. So then this week we had them do the interview where they had the sit down interview, which I got to say I thought was fantastic. It was much more like their kind of NXT gimmick, but it was still different enough that it wasn't just the Revival. I liked the way they kind of addressed each tag team. I liked the way that they gave Pentagon and Phoenix grief for not tagging in and following the rules, because that fits with what they think about tag team wrestling. I like the fact that they left the Young Bucks till last and said, we don't want to have like a 5-star match with them. We want to punch them in the face and beat them 1, 2, 3. I thought that was really cool. And that tag team division, as we've discussed, is so stacked. And adding FTR to it is.
Here we go.
You're
Here we
back.
go.
Yeah, we
I
go,
don't know.
bro.
My bad. I don't know what just happened. Like, I really don't know. I tried to turn the camera.
So, did you hear what I said about the Young Bucks?
Yeah, I heard you.
So yeah,
Yep.
they left the Young Bucks to last, and then they kind of said they want to just punch him in the face and beat him 1, 2, 3, which I thought was really cool. It's a quite good little thing. That tag team division is so stacked, like we talked about. It's just incredible, and adding FTR to it just makes it special. I can't wait to see. Like, obviously, they got their first match with.
I was trying to figure out like what's going on with the camera. I was like, why is it looking like that? But yeah. All right.
So we got the Butcher and the Blade next week versus FTR. Do you think that's a good match for them to start?
Yeah, I do. I think that's a solid match for them just to kick it off. I feel like they're gonna kick off the show, and like I feel like Tony Khan is one of those dudes where he's gonna be like, all right, I want to see what y'all can do, so I'm gonna give y'all like 20 minutes of the opening match, 25 minutes, and don't disappoint. And I feel like that's exactly what it's gonna be. They're just gonna give them 20 minutes or so to go out there and just see what they can do. I mean, they haven't wrestled that long, and I don't know how long, except for house shows. So it's gonna be good to see what they can do on TV when they get the opportunity. Because I mean, I know they've been talking a lot about what they would do or what they could do if they had the opportunity to do it on TV. So here we go. I'm pretty sure Tony Khan will give them about 20 minutes, and it's either gonna be make or break. But I do think that FTR should be the ones to take the titles off of Omega and Page, and then eventually go do the match with the Bucks. That's what I think is happening. I think after FTR climbs their way up to the tag division, probably I think I would say it's gonna be my prediction. Omega and Page Omega and Page versus FTR for the tag titles at Full Gear in November.
Yeah,
That's my
I think
prediction.
that the timeline of that kind of fits. What who do you think should be their first proper feud? Because I don't think they're going to feud with the Butcher and the Blade. I think they're going to beat them. They'll have I think they'll give them, like you say, 15, 20 minutes and go kill it to show what they can do. But I don't think necessarily that they're going to have like a prolonged feud with them. Would you put them straight in with the go after Hangman and Omega, or would you have them feud with? I think Pentagon and Phoenix would be quite a good feud for them. They could have some good matches and some good promos. My only problem if they was to start with that is if Pac is coming back soon, because the UK has just lifted the lockdown procedures. So I'm assuming those UK guys are going to be over in the next month or so. You don't want to have Death Triangle losing a lot of matches because they're going to have to rebuild them back up with some momentum.
Now that you just mentioned, I ain't mean to cut you off, but like now that you just mentioned it, that about Pat, I think he's gonna be the one to take the TNT title off Cody.
Yeah, I think that's a good shout.
I think that he'll be the one to do it, probably at All Out, and they'll probably do like a surprise thing, like who's going to be the person this week to challenge Cody for the title, and then or at this pay per view to challenge Cody for the title, and then Pac makes his grand return, and then maybe they do some type of thing with like maybe Death Triangle helps him win the title, or maybe he don't really need to help to win the title anyway. He just beats Cody clean, just
Yeah,
outsmart him. And then like as far as FTR goes, I feel like they're gonna beat Butcher and Blade, probably send Jimmy Havoc and Kip Sabian out and they beat them. And I feel like AEW is gonna hold off on like the quote unquote dream matches that people want to see. Like they're gonna hold off on those, like and
yeah,
not go through those at all. Like I feel like they're gonna wait, like probably I really don't think we're going to see FTR versus Proud and Powerful. I don't think we're going to see FTR versus Pentagon and Phoenix. I don't think we're going to see them versus Omega and Page and the Bucks until like 2 months from now or 3 months from now. I don't think they're going to run through those. I think they're just going to like put random teams together just for them to get some wins. I think they're going to be best friends.
yeah.
Definitely think that's going to happen after Fighter Fest. Like after best friends get their title shot. So yeah, I mean, I think they're gonna be the ones that I definitely don't think it's gonna be long before they win the tag titles at all. Like I think it's gonna be at full gear for sure.
Yeah, I think if it wasn't for the fact they'd had such a recent tag team tournament, I think a good way to build up the revival would be to have a tag team tournament, maybe have the final be them versus Pentagon and Phoenix, and then uh, you could just kind of do like keep them away from the Young Bucks, then do the Omega match, and then build towards the Young Bucks. But obviously, there was a tournament fairly recently with the tag team, so I don't think they'll do that again.
And they're
Um,
gonna be SCU too.
yeah, those two teams. They'll probably beat Sabian and Jimmy Havoc also. Um, so you mentioned Cody and Pac. Do you think we see Zack Ryder uh, or Matt Cardona face Cody 1 week as a one-off?
Yeah, I think that's gonna be the Fighter Fest match probably. I can see
Okay.
him coming in,
Do you
but I don't
think
think
he'll
he's going.
sign? You don't think
Nah,
he'll sign?
no, I do not think they're gonna sign
Any
him at
other?
all because it's too like I feel like if they bring in like more ex WWE guys, it's just gonna be for like that 1 week, one off type thing, just to be there for the one match and then send them off. So I don't want AEW to become like the ex WWE place because I mean
Yeah,
like
it's an easy trap, isn't it?
you already got so many guys who are ex WWE, like recent ex WWE guys. So like it's interesting, but I mean I feel like it kind of works in some ways when they're completely different from what they did in WWE, opposed to like you having guys who have had a great deal of success in WWE, opposed to some guys who really didn't get a fair shake and then they come to AEW and just become you know big time. So I'm
Yeah,
really interested to see what they do with the Brody Lee character in that because I feel like he kind of got hot shot into the title pitch. I don't think that should have happened. Like, where does he go from here? Like, where does he
yeah.
go?
Well,
Because I
that's
feel
what
like
I
he.
said to you in our preview show. Is I actually wondered whether they were going to put the title on him just to kind of cement him as a top guy because they put him straight into it. I do wonder whether he might feud with Cody next. I
Mm,
do believe though the only problem with that is if he does feud with Cody, the danger is he has to beat Cody for the title because he can't go and lose another title match straight off because that's
mm.
going to do more damage than good, even if he has a good showing or whatever. Um, Out of all the kind of free agents that WWE released, or any free agents really, I suppose, is there anyone that you do think will end up with a contract in AEW?
Ain't no my bad camera work, folks. Please. But out of everybody that got released, AEW would be foolish not to get Rusev.
Yeah, I think
Foolish. But the thing is, I think
anyone
that
would be.
I think WWE is going to try to get Rusev back. I definitely do think because they would. I definitely think they're going to try to bring him back. And then as we
I
saw this past week, Mister Maverick got his job back. So
Yeah.
that was that.
Triple
But
H's response to that. Someone asked him about it on the conference call.
yeah.
Um, And his response was quite interesting, whereby he said, it wasn't a work from the start, but the fans got behind him. He's got his passion for the business is so enthusiastic, and where
No,
people got behind him. But
what happened was Drake Maverick posted that tweet and he tagged Shawn Michaels and Triple H in the tweet, and they got every single notification that came that
yeah.
way, and it was like 10,000 retweets and 23,000 likes. They got every single notification, every single comment, and I'm pretty sure they just got to a point where it was like, you know what?
Okay.
Let's bring him back, and that's what happened. He worked his way back into the company. I ain't mad
Yeah,
at him.
man.
He did his thing. He ain't want to leave, and he found his way back. So good on Drake Maverick. I'm glad he got to stay and keep living his dream, and that's good for him. Yeah,
Yeah,
young man from the UK was chasing his dream, and he got cut and found his way back in. So, but I saw Leo Rush had tweeted that he didn't think it was funny that they kind of made a storyline out of people getting released when he got released and then got his job back and stuff like that. I know he wasn't too fond of it. I'm pretty sure it hurt him that he got released, and he really hasn't. He's spoken about getting released, and he's been very open about moving forward and stuff like that. But I'm pretty sure it hurt him. You know what I'm saying? Just to see stuff like that after he kind of asked for like another fair shake in WWE as far as like
yeah,
pay and all that stuff. So
yeah, for sure. And I think, yeah, I can understand why some people don't like it, and I can understand why some of the wrestlers might be a bit annoyed by it. But I'm not surprised that that's what they did. I think me and you even discussed it right at the start, where we said they shouldn't do it, but they probably will. Um, it is what it is, I suppose. Well, I do feel like one of the biggest missed opportunities with Drake Maverick from a WWE point of view is them not putting him with EC3, because I feel like that could have been a really good way to utilize EC3, but they did nothing, absolutely nothing with EC3, which is surprising when you look at how he looks. He's got that Vince McMahon look. He can talk, he can work. It's mind-boggling that they did nothing with him. I'd assume he's going to end up back in the old Impact
Impact.
Wrestling. Yeah.
I think he was in the vignette that aired this past Tuesday. They had like
Well, there a few people in it.
yeah, it was like Gallows and I think Anderson was in it, and they had like a yeah, it was a couple WWE ex WWE people in there. I think Rusev was in it too, and Deonna Purrazzo is gonna be a part of Impact Women's Division. So Impact's got a good thing going right now. So it's gonna be interesting to see who else from that was recently released ended up joining Impact Wrestling.
I feel like AEW missed the boat by not signing Deonna Purrazzo. I feel like she could have been a real good signing for them.
No,
But
but I don't think so because AEW is still figuring out their own damn women's division. And
yeah,
you just making it worse when you add in more people when you haven't even really got the chance to focus in on your own. Like the only people we know is Reaal. We know Nyla Rose. We just now getting to know Big Swole for the most like the people that don't know Big
yeah,
Swole already. You're just now getting to see what she can do and getting into her character. Big Breaker's established. Um, Chris Statlander is somewhat established. You haven't really gotten into Penelope Ford. B Priestley still there, and she hasn't been able to compete for AEW. She was literally about to challenge Nyla Rose for the AEW Women's World Championship, or they were about to get into a program, and then the coronavirus stuff happened. So yeah, I think they need to ease up on the women's division until you solidify every single woman in that division that you have now before adding more.
yeah. I can get that. I just feel like maybe it's because of the way they've booked. I do feel like they're just missing like that one superstar. Like I do feel like Britt Baker's a good, uh, she's a good heel. She's real good, special. But I wonder whether I think Big Swole is capable of being it if they book her right. But they need like that big star as a like maybe a baby face. I think they're doing better with it. They are doing better with it, but I do feel like they're still missing just something. Something's not clicking. Something's not quite there. But we will see. Um, Rusev, circling back to the man. I believe that I would love to see him have a short run in NWA. Do you? have they started taping again now with no fans?
Who NWA?
Yeah.
No, they're not. They're
No.
they're doing the Carney Land thing, and they have like Nick Aldis has a podcast, and Eli Drake has a podcast, and they're doing the Girl Power um, project with Marty Bell, Thunder Rosa,
Okay.
Allison Kay, and Ashley Vox, and they have that, and that's like their thing. But I don't think the NWA works. Like just the Power series, I don't think it works without fans. I feel like that's just one of the things about the series that made it so good was the fans, and I don't think they're like
Yeah.
the product to just be going out and doing no fans. But one product, sir, that will be returning soon. New Japan Pro Wrestling is back. They are back. Let's go. It is. I'm so excited, bro. I miss New Japan so much. Like if anybody that don't know Bushiroad, they sent out a statement the other day, and they said that they're all people from also Stardom. Stardom is also coming back as well. World Wonder Ring Stardom is coming back. For those who don't know what Stardom is, Bushiroad issued a statement, and they said that they will be all performers from Stardom and New Japan and all staff members will be taking antibody tests. And what an antibody test is to see if you have had the coronavirus, not if you have the coronavirus. It's not an active test. It's just to check your body and to see if you have had the virus. So that's what that is. And yeah, they're going to be taking the test. And this Monday, New Japan is going to have a press conference to announce the future of their events. And I'm pretty sure that's going to be, what's next for them as far as like events go. So I'm excited to see New Japan back. I'm hoping that they, can get back on track and, we get some announcement about the G1 and hopefully they go to no fans routes. I know that DDT Pro Wrestling they're going to start doing fans again at a capacity. So
Okay.
I think Japan is going to be back with fans before the U.S. definitely because I feel like they've handled it like kind of well, like
Yeah.
really well. So I'm interested to see what's going to happen. I feel like the best thing New Japan could do in any other most Japanese promotions is to run some of the not smaller venues, but like the smaller venues that everybody knows is really big, like Korakuen Hall. I feel like you could keep that to a capacity and just tighten up the seats, tighten up the camera angle, so like it looks well presentation wise, and have people sitting slightly distant away from each other, but still having people there. And I think that's what's probably going to happen, and that's great, honestly. So I'm excited to see New Japan back, and I'm excited for the press conference on Monday. So yeah, New Japan, Stardom, they back in All Japan Pro Wrestling. Their champion carnival tournament is going to happen in September. So yeah, man.
Very good. I am. Yeah, I too cannot wait to get New Japan back. I've missed it. And I'd even kind of fallen behind, and I wasn't into it as much as I had been previously. But I have, like, when it was taken away completely.
Caught up.
Yeah, I was. I'm now like can't wait for it. And yeah, I'd like to see Rusev go to New Japan. I gotta say, if
Definitely.
he's,
Hey, no,
do you know what? Of all the choices for Rusev, I either want to see him go back to the WWE, rescue Lana from like Bobby Lashley being horrible to her, and then get a massive push as a babyface, like a proper upper mid card title contending push with the WWE, because I think he is special. I think he's suited to the WWE. However, if that's not going to happen, I would like to see him go to New Japan because I think that will be literally incredible.
no. But what I really want to see in New Japan, like when they eventually come back, I really want, and I know it's gonna be difficult because of the travel restrictions right now. I think Americans can come to Japan, but they have to quarantine for like 14 days, like 2 weeks
Yeah, that's
like
right.
in
I
Japan.
read
That's for what it is. If they do the best of the Super Juniors, bring Leo Rush
that. Oh my
into the
god!
best of
Can
Super
you
Juniors.
imagine?
I need Leo Rush, the OJMO, and Scotty Davis in the best of the Super Juniors. That's what I need, and that's all I need. Can you imagine that when they do like the tag team matches on the like for the competitors that are not in the singles match? Can you imagine Leo Rush and Okada going at it for like
Oh,
5 minutes, just a sprint,
that's
5 minute
just.
sprint?
Can you die? Oh, it's like almost speechless just thinking of it. It'd just be so incredible, mate.
And I know Leo can hang with him. I know he can.
Oh God, yeah, Leo Rush is so special. I think he's been massively underutilized wherever he's gone.
But
Because
I wanted to ask you real quick. Not to cut you. Oh, matter of fact, you go ahead and finish because I had a question I wanted to ask you. You go ahead and finish real quick.
I was just going to say that I just think he's been massively underutilized almost everywhere he's gone, and I think WWE missed the trick whereby when he made his return after he had some heat or whatever
Yeah,
or perceived
he
heat.
was gone for like 7 months.
Yeah, man, and I feel like when they brought him back, they really could have made him like a top guy, and I feel like they missed the boat a little bit with
They
that.
just put him in the cruiserweight division.
Yeah, but even like when he
Yeah.
went to NXT, I felt like they could have pushed him. He could have been him and Adam Cole, man, for the title. Would have
Yeah.
been special.
Yeah. But now I was going to ask you, you know, like what are your thoughts about like how Stardom is going to? I mean, of course, they're going to continue on, but with the passing of Hana Kimura, and she was being like primed as like that next big star. You know what I'm saying? Like she had literally everything to be the star, and it was like seemed like they were priming her for that position. How they continue forward. With things going on, like I'm pretty sure they will. Just they'll power through, and somebody else will.
Yeah,
You can't fill anybody's position, especially like I feel like Hana Kimura was like from the work that I've seen, and I've admittedly haven't seen a lot, but I've seen some stuff, and I got to see her in person 2 years ago at the ROH show. I think it was called Fairfax Excellence. It was in Virginia. I went to that show and I got to see her when she was with Oedo Tai. I hope I pronounced that right. She teamed with Kajitsu, and I got to see her wrestle, and she was really really good. And I think back then she was 20.
jeez.
So yeah, man, like it's crazy.
So,
There's a
gone.
yeah.
Sorry.
I was just going to ask you about your thoughts about that and how they continue forward.
So, admittedly, I'm not super familiar with Stardom.
Right,
Overall, I knew who Hana Kimura was. I knew that
right, right.
she was what I
You
had seen of her. She was
you knew
exceptionally
of her work,
special.
right,
Yeah, man.
right.
She was everything I saw of her. She was very special.
They had the look and
Yeah, everything.
yeah,
Like we ran a graphic at the start of last week's show, and me and Alex talked about it, and it's just it's just such a sad situation, and from a wrestling point of view and like a business point of view, I feel like it's going to be difficult for them because whoever they put in that slot is under so much pressure just because of the circumstances surrounding it and
right.
everything. And I do wonder whether rather than focusing on maybe one person as their new kind of like
Top spot, yeah.
their top person, they might be better doing kind of like a Smackdown early 2000s thing and having a group of
Just top people,
4 or 5
yeah,
top people, because I feel like one, it eases the pressure from one individual trying to fill those shoes under the tragic circumstances, but also then you're building up multiple stars. If anyone leaves to go to WWE or AEW or anything like that, you've got a group of stars. I think that might be from a business point of view a better thing. But just touching on the Hana Kimura thing, last week within 24 hours, I saw people saying, be kind, think about your words on social media. This
I
is,
know where this going.
rightly so. And then literally 24 hours later, those same people were insulting people. One of them I saw giving out death threats to someone's family. And I was like, Jesus Christ, have you learned nothing? Like over something so horrific and tragic, like this young lady has died under a tremendous amount of pressure and abuse from social media, and then you're rightly saying that everyone should think before they tweet or before they post online. Rightly, because everyone should. You should always think about the person who you're tweeting or talking to, and everyone's been guilty of like maybe saying something they shouldn't have, or snapping, or emotionally saying something. But then to do it so quickly, like a 24 hours later after saying it, these same people were doing very similar, and I found it sad. I found that really sad and really hypocritical. But yeah, I just wanted
Yeah,
to point
not
that
not
out.
no, I agree. Like, and then just speaking about you know just the wrestling aspect of it. Like, I mean, and then of course, like speaking of her as a person, like you've seen so many people that knew her and spoke so highly of her, and like just how nice she was. Like you even heard, like I remember Brody King put like he put like a real nice thread out, like at Hana, like she helped him like navigate Japan, and she was just like such a like nice person, and for somebody to be so like from what it seemed like so humble at the age of 22, and she obviously knew how good she was. You know what I'm saying? And then like
Yeah,
it didn't like it's always gonna be one of those cases of like what would Hana Kimura have become in 5 years from now? Where would she be? Who would she have wrestled? Like the opportunities that were that are not on the table anymore and stuff like that. So like it's always gonna be one of those sad like what if stories. Like even for those of you who don't know, like Len Bias, he was a basketball player that went to Maryland, and he was like he was competing against Michael Jordan. They were in college at the same time, and he was like dude was like unbelievable, like legit, like unbelievable. And he died in a car accident. Uh, I think not too long after he got drafted, and he didn't get to play in the NBA. So like it's always one of those like and not comparing him and Jordan, but like it's just always that question like would Jordan be who
yeah,
he is if Len Bias didn't pass away? You know what I'm saying? And and,
yeah,
and,
yeah,
and it's always one of those things. But he still got his college career to look back on. And just as far as Hana Kimura goes in that professional sense, it's gonna be like, what would she be 5 years from now in wrestling? Like, because we've seen, you know, so many talents, you know, get taken away early, and it's messed up, man. And just social media goes, man. Like people just need to, I don't know, because I mean, like you just said, everybody came out and tried to share the message to treat people right, and then the next minute, right back to what it was. So it ain't really nothing I can say about that. But I'm hoping that there's some type of like peace comes to her family some way somehow, because I know that's something that you probably never get over.
yeah, for sure. It's just tragic, mate. It's someone so young, with the world seemingly at her feet, where she could literally go on and do anything. By all accounts, everyone thought she was going to go on and be one of the biggest female stars out there. To then to for it to end in such tragic circumstances is real sad.
She just wrestled in a Tokyo Dome like 5 months prior.
And like it goes to show, and this I try and say this to people a lot, is when people like they tweet, say like after a football game or a basketball game, say like a big star has a bad game,
And yeah, like
and they
dudes, like
tweet loads
stop
of
doing that.
abuse, and it's like, come on now, right? They're human beings, they've got families, children, they've got
These are like regular people,
parents.
bro.
Yeah, and you don't think they know they had a bad game? You don't think they know that they didn't perform, as well as they could, or they've let their team down? Um, and I don't get it really. But then the other aspect, which I saw these same people talking about bullying and things again, rightly so. Then those same people justifying doxing a well-known YouTuber who I'm not going to name or get into. He said some stuff a while ago, which was, it was bang out of order. He shouldn't have said it. Whether you like him or you don't, I don't really have an opinion. I don't really watch his stuff. But um, they were talking about bullying and how bad it is. And then someone doxed his mother and father, who were, not young, and they were phoning them and giving them death threats and all these things over something that he had said about Alexa Bliss. And these same people who'd been talking about, bullying days earlier were justifying these threats and the abuse that his parents were taking. Nothing to do with his parents, was it? And I don't understand it, mate. I can't get my head around it at all. But human beings, they're just the worst sometimes. Right, back to the grapple apps.
Shall we preview NXT Takeover in your house?
For sure. Can I ask you one question first?
No.
Come on,
No,
man.
I'm playing.
Just one
playing.
question. One question. No. Matt Riddle. I told you the bro was coming.
Going to SmackDown.
He's going to destroy.
Going to SmackDown.
Goldberg announced for tonight. Riddle's coming.
He is coming. For real? Is he announced for real?
No, he's not. He should be. But the second they announce Goldberg as appearing on SmackDown, people will be clambering for it.
No, but one thing from that I really like that they gave Timothy Thatcher the big win,
the big rub in the big And do you think they should make that his match now, like his like Hell in the Cell with like Taker and Kane's match where they would go to it?
The fight pit definitely should be a Timothy Thatcher thing. Like every time it gets to that point in a feud that he's in, take it to the fight pit. I definitely think that should be a thing. But yeah, I'm excited to see what Matt Riddle can do. I feel like it's gonna be like exactly how it was when he was in NXT. I feel like at first it's gonna be kind of weird and kind of awkward because like people don't really get it. They don't get him at first because like of course for those of us who knew Matt Riddle prior to WWE, like you already got it. But like when he came to NXT, like you can just tell by the reception. Some people were like, "Oh, this dude is cool, but he kind of weird." Like and then after a while, you kind of gravitate to it because he has a personality. He has one of those like personalities that people gravitate to. So like I think and then at that on top of that, he just being himself. It's not like a character. So like I think he's gonna be. I think it's gonna be rough at first. Like I think it's not gonna be like people think he gonna come onto the main roster and everything gonna be sweet and dandy. I think it's gonna be like some rough starts and some some stop and start pushes. But I think like I give it to like October, November, and then like I think that's when he gonna start to hit his groove, and then he'll probably be Intercontinental Champion or a Tag Team Champion, and I think once he starts to show like that the people that he needs to show what he can do, and once they start to see the merch numbers, they start selling the Matt Riddle flip flops, and
for sure.
and all that stuff. They gonna turn him into a walking merchandise stand, but. Yeah, so yeah, I'm interested to see what he's gonna do. But like I said again, I think it's gonna be a rough start at first. I'm telling you now. Remember I said this clip. It's gonna be rough at first. It's not gonna be sweet. I'm telling y'all now. Don't go and get your hypes up and think he's gonna come in the main roster and be Universal Champion in 2 weeks. It ain't gonna happen. Mm-hmm. It's gonna be rough. And then like after a couple of months, he's going to hit his stride and he's going to be just fine. He's going to be a champion before the end of this year. I promise you that.
So. Who's in charge of the SmackDown creative?
I think Bruce Pritchard.
Oh God!
I'm surprised if he didn't go to Raw because Paul Heyman loves Matt Riddle apparently.
Well, I wonder if the reason for that is they don't want to be forced into or they want, especially when the fans come back. That when the fans come back, it's going to be the hardcore fans which go up first. I think, isn't it? Like. When they've only got, say, half an audience or they've got limited numbers, I feel like it's going to be the really hardcore fans which go back first, the most vocal. So what you don't want is kind of Riddle kind of promo, say, to open Raw, and you've announced Lesnar for later in the night because the fans will just want Riddle versus Lesnar. Whereas I feel like with SmackDown, they can build him up. I just think it's really important that in this first month or two, when he makes his debut, they establish him as being a main event star. Yeah. Don't have him. What I would do is I'd have him do an almost Goldberg like streak. I would have him unbeaten for months and months and months.
Here we go.
No, well, even if they don't go with the Goldberg match ever, you may as well use the fact that everyone knows there's a bit of friction there.
Yeah.
Have him go and count like house shows and build up this streak so it's like 50-0. Because what the worst case scenario is somebody eventually beats him and gets the rub from it. Best case scenario, he retires that old mofo and gets the rub from it. Goldberg can put someone over on his way out for a change. And when he beats Goldberg, he should wear a Fiend t-shirt in tribute to our fallen friend.
Congratulations to Bray Wyatt, by the way.
Another baby. I think he might come back tonight on SmackDown.
No, he'll come back. He'll come back after Backlash because the title match already set. They're doing the handicap.
What's the title match? Oh, it's handicap match between
Miz and Morrison.
That's it. Oh, God.
I mean, it's nothing else they could do, honestly. I really don't think.
Yeah, but make it a triple threat. I hated it when they did it with Sami Zayn and did a tag team match that way, and I hate it when they do this way as well. It makes no sense. I don't like it. We obviously had Phantasma became the interim cruiserweight champion as well. What did you feel about that? I think we all knew that he was going to win.
No, they dropped that interim line. They calling him the NXT Cruiserweight Champion. So I don't know what that's saying about Jordan Devlin, but they definitely dropped that interim line from the tournament name. So I mean, I'm happy for Phantasma. I mean, I feel like he wasn't even a story though. Like I feel like nobody cared. Yeah, everybody was like,
well,
the Drake Maverick thing.
Yeah, I wondered whether after they gave Drake Maverick the contract, I wondered whether they would go backstage and have him do an interview with one of the interviewers and have the masked guys attack him as like a way to go off air to bring the story back to El Phantasma. Because we haven't seen those masked guys for a couple of weeks, have we?
Yeah.
They weren't on last week either, were they?
It's DJ Z and Raul Mendoza. I think that's what it is. Who it is. Okay. Like the new masked people. Of course it wasn't them like when they got attacked, but I think it's definitely DJ Z or Woquin Wild and Raul Mendoza. Joaquin. I don't know how to say that shit, but yeah, I think it's definitely them. That's gonna be his henchmen. And then once they reveal themselves, and he'll reveal himself as George Barley, and then that's when they'll just be a faction and take over the cruiserweight division. I think it's something interesting because the cruiserweight division is like they don't really have anything, bro. Do you remember those days, bro, when it was Mustafa Ali and Cedric Alexander, Buddy Murphy, and all them was they used to smash on 205 Live. Yeah. Like I'm talking about every week. It was at least one banger on 205 Live. Every week. It was at least one. Every week, bro. Like they had one banger. Like it was either Leo Rush or Cedric or Ali or Gallagher or Tozawa or somebody, bro. Like, it was just somebody there that was like having a banger, bro. Like 205 Live used to have some of like the most low key underrated matches, and like now that brand is just like
dead.
Like,
do you think they might? Oh, I thought they were gonna make the cruiserweight title the kind of UK undercard title when they gave it to Jordan Devlin. But then obviously the lockdown and everything happened and the pandemic, so they've kind of done a bit of a U-turn. But I feel like almost there's not enough room for the cruiserweight title on NXT because you've got the North American title, you've got the tag team titles, you've got the women's titles. I feel like you don't need that cruiserweight title in there.
I feel like they should just turn it into the WWE Cruiserweight title and have it defended everywhere.
Yeah. I think that makes the most sense. And you could have like El Phantasma turn up on Raw and face Sami Zayn for the Cruiserweight title. Oof, that could be good. But then also you got Riddle, you got Dijakovic, and you've got Chelsea Green apparently going to Raw and SmackDown.
Try to say his name one more time. I gotta hear this.
Dijakovic. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Donovan Dijak.
Dijakovic.
That's what I said.
You said
Dijakovic.
Ladies and gentlemen.
You need to get your ears tested. Your hearing's going, like your memory.
Jason is back. This is not Sai. This is Jason right now.
Jay Dizzle's in the house. But
The,
what before I was rudely interrupted, what I was saying is with Riddle and Dijakovic leaving, and apparently Chelsea Green, it does open up a couple of slots. Like whilst Riddle and Donovan Dijakovic were they weren't like in top storylines. They were regulars on TV. They were, Riddle was tag team champion. Donovan Dijakovic has been facing Keith Lee for the North American title. So there is some spaces there. I think I'd quite be up for moving Phantasma towards the maybe the North American title once he drops this title, because you got Adam Cole. We're not quite sure what's going on with the Velveteen Dream. We both thought that they were going to write him off TV. They haven't.
You want to know what? Just real quick, just to jump topics real quick. I think the next person that's going to challenge for the NXT title is going to be Dexter Lumis, and I think he's going to win. I know that sounds crazy. I think he's going to win because this is just strictly based off of what I heard from Road Dogg on the After the Bell podcast.
Okay.
Like, you gotta hear the way this man, and mind you, Road Dogg is a part of the NXT creative team and is a producer with them. And the way that he was speaking about Dexter Lumis, like, they had plans for this man. Like, this is not some thing that is just happening just because it's happening. They have plans for this man. Like, he said that Dexter Lumis was a project that they've been working on for a long time and trying to figure out what works and what doesn't work, and find out, like, he said him, Shawn Michaels, and Triple H spent 2 hours in a writing room trying to figure out what Dexter Lumis was going to be from his character. Like, that's how much they care about the character. Like, they spent literally 2 hours trying to figure out, like, where he should be from. And they like, he said that Dexter Lumis is a main event guy, and they're definitely leading towards that direction. So the fact that he openly endorsed Dexter Lumis like that just lets me know that this is, like, not some random thing. Like, this is, like, a legit person that they're investing in. So I think that he'll. Let me retract that last thing. I don't think he'll win the NXT championship, not now, but I definitely think over time, and I think once they get in front of a crowd and see how a crowd reacts to Dexter Lumis, then
if you go by social media, he's getting over. The character is getting over big time.
he entered, but I didn't like it at first. I didn't get it. I thought it was just crazy. And then like after a while, I'm like, it's like weird, but it's good. Like, I don't know why he just fits it so well, and then he can actually wrestle. So, like, that's the crazy thing. So, like,
we haven't really seen him wrestle much in NXT, but his character work has been exceptional.
Yeah. Do you think that he's gonna replace Velveteen Dream? Because
I wonder whether he might cost the Velveteen Dream, because everyone thinks that he's kind of been backing him, and I wonder whether he might cost him, injure him, if they are going to write him off TV, and then we'll move into like a Dexter Lumis versus Adam Cole storyline.
And speaking of return, Sir Fandango returned.
Yeah, that was cool.
This past Wednesday, Fandango returned. Beth Phoenix said that instead of having Tommy John surgery, he had physical therapy, and that Tommy John surgery that thing keeps you out from 8 to 18 months.
Jeez,
so that would, yeah. And Fandango's not a young dude, so I'm pretty sure he didn't want to.
Yeah,
I mean, he is young, but, like, you know what I mean. Like, I don't think he wanted to be out that long. And the crazy thing is, he just came back not too long after he got injured from a torn labrum in his shoulder. So he was out for a whole year, and then he was back for like 5 months, and then he got injured again, and now he's back. So hopefully he can stay healthy. And they're the number one contenders, and I think they're gonna do a 3-way probably at the next takeover with Fabian Aichner and Marcel Bartel defending against Breezango and Malcolm Bivenson's group. So yeah, I think that's gonna be the next takeover tag team title match. They probably do it on NXT because I don't think Malcolm Business group is like really like I hate using this word because it makes it seem like I'm in the business. I hate it, but
Mm,
green because
yeah.
they're like really green. So like yeah, I'm interested to see where that goes. But yeah, speaking of takeover, sir,
Yes, indeed. Let's go. Have you got the card up?
nah, I'm on
All
my
right,
phone.
give me. I'll bring it up now. So
You kind of look like carrying cross a little bit.
yeah, I'm bigger. Um, so Triple H on the conference call, he spoke really, really highly of Killer Cross as well,
Mm-hmm.
which was kind of interesting because you know he's new. Um, he's very different to what they have in NXT.
Bro, he's
So I'll be
6'4", bro, and he
yeah, I'm going to
like
be
really
interested what they do with him.
really agile and like fast, and he has a cool ass entrance. Like, and then the crazy part
Yes,
about
he
that whole
does.
thing is most people don't even know that Scarlett Bordeaux can like wrestle. She's like
Yeah,
really good. She can go with anybody, and that's the crazy thing. Like once they establish Cross, they're gonna establish Scarlett, and then once people find out what she can actually do in the ring, they gonna be running NXT. Him and
oh yeah.
Scarlett, they're gonna be running NXT. I feel like there hasn't been a right time for them to ever do the NXT champion, NXT Women's Champion couple thing. I don't think it was right with Gargano and Candice. It didn't feel right. I don't think it's right with Keith Lee. I mean, it could be with anybody, but I mean,
Hmm.
I don't think it's right with Gargano and Candice. I don't think it's right with Lee and Mia Yim. But I feel like with Scarlett and Karrion Cross, like if you were ever going to do this whole couple takeover thing, it definitely should be Karrion and Scarlett. Definitely.
Do you know if they is a little random thought for you? If they ever do that stupid mix max challenge, whatever it was it mix max
Yeah,
challenge? Was that
mismatch
what it was
challenge.
called?
Yeah.
If they ever do that crap again, they should just have Scarlet Bordeaux and Killer Cross go in and absolutely just destroy everyone. Just
I'm pretty
like
I'm pretty sure
10 seconds in every match.
I'm pretty sure people would love to see that entrance just on a random Friday night
Special,
after SmackDown. I'm pretty sure
special,
people
man.
would love to see that. Yeah.
I think
But
he'll be
yeah,
the one to take the title. I got to be honest. I don't think it'll be Dexter Loomis. I think it'll be Killer Cross eventually, if they don't give it to Velveteen Dream on Sunday,
I
which I
I, I,
think
I
is
think
possible.
I think I think Cross is gonna be Keith Lee first. I think he's gonna be Keith Lee first
Oh,
and take the
interesting,
North
because they
American
they
title.
like Keith Lee, don't they? So that's an
Yeah,
interesting
yeah, but
call.
Cause I'm saying because Keith Lee already beat Dijakovic, and Dijakovic is reportedly moving up, and that he already beat Damian Priest. So I feel like you know the next person up is gonna be. I mean, he could lose the title to Gargano. I ain't. It's not for 1 second that I believe that anybody is gonna beat the NXT Golden Boy. It ain't happening. So like I
Especially with
don't
his
know, but
apparently his contract's up soon, so they're gonna want to keep
who
him. Adam Cole apparently his contract, his and Britt Baker's contract run out at similar times, but no one really knows, do they? Like really knows. It'd be interesting what they do, both of them. But I mean, Adam Cole, whenever his contract is up, he can ask for anything. He can ask for a boatload of money. He can ask for to go to SmackDown. He could ask for go Raw because Triple H is clever enough that he knows that if Adam Cole made the jump to AEW, that would be huge, particularly if the fans are back in the buildings. Like he is, um, I think he's one of the ones which they will do everything they can to keep, in my opinion. Um, okay, I'm struggling to find the bloody card. Everywhere's only got like half of it.
go
Right.
go to Wikipedia and just type in
Yeah, I just got. That's what I've just done. So we got as announced on Wednesday, Mia Yim, Shotzi Blackheart, and Tegan Knox versus Candice LeRae, Dakota Kai, and Raquel Gonzalez.
the heel team. The heel
Heel.
team. Man, did you see that bump that Shotzi Blackheart took when she
Oh
did the
my
spring up?
god!
Jesus, man, I thought she broke her neck, bro. I was like,
That's
oh
exactly what I was going to say. I thought she
my
broke her neck.
goodness, dog. Like she overshot the hell out of that thing.
And did you
But
see
she
how
went
worried? Who was it? Who was
the
catching
referee.
her? No, there was one of the girls who was catching her. It was
Raquel
Uh,
Gonzalez and Dakota Kai.
was Candice there as well? Like
Nah,
she'd come out to interfere or something?
she wasn't there though for the
No, it
catch.
must have been Dakota Kai. But one of them, when she like hit the ground, they ran over like, and they were
No, no,
straight over her.
no, that was Tegan Knox. That was
Ah,
Tegan
there we
Knox.
go. You could see like the panic on her face, like it was scary bump, man. Like, that's the sort of one which could be a career ender. They got to catch her there,
Yeah,
and we've seen a
no,
few of
no.
those.
I don't think that was their fault because she got like the way she jumped, she like her body like instead of going straight, she went like instead of her legs being straight, her legs went up,
Yeah, but
and she kind of
they've got to move, in my opinion. Like I'm not a trained wrestler, but I feel like they've got to move to the side to make sure they take some of it off her. But she went over the top of them, really, didn't she? She
yeah.
like her legs went over.
I'm grateful she landed on her shoulders because that's what it looked like. Like her shoulders caught most of that instead of her
Yeah,
neck. I'm pretty sure her neck comes under, but it seemed like she landed like shoulder first, like back shoulder first, opposed to her neck because no, obviously she's good. So, but goddamn,
that's the main thing. We've seen a
that was
couple of
rough.
bad dive catches or bad like nasty dives recently on AEW and NXT TV. Yeah, you gotta be careful. Catch these people.
Yeah, but I think the heel team winning. Yeah,
I think that the babyface team will win with
ooh,
Mia Yim pinning Candice LeRae.
mm.
Actually, no, I think Mia Yim will pin one of the others, and Candice LeRae will bail like just as the pin happens. Um, I'm not sure how I feel about Candice LeRae's heel gimmick either. I don't know. Keith Lee versus Johnny Gargano.
I
It
can't call it.
will
I
the
can't
Johnny
call it.
Gargano way prevail?
I can't call it. I really don't know because I feel like you go either way. Just for the sake of picking, I'm gonna say Gargano.
Yeah, I think I was leaning that way. It's difficult one to pick, but I was leaning towards Johnny Gargano as well. Next up was Adam Cole and Velveteen Dream in the last chance backlot brawl. If
I
Dream
think Adam.
loses, he
Yeah,
cannot challenge for the title while Cole is champion.
I think Adam Cole wins.
Yeah, I don't think they're ready to part with Adam Cole's title run just yet. And I think they should probably save it for when the fans are back. I gotta say. Um, and you've got Dexter Loomis, you've got Killer Cross in the wings waiting. So I think they're probably
And
a
you could
better
always
shot.
bump Keith Lee up.
I wonder whether Keith Lee might end up on Raw or SmackDown. To be honest, I don't know whether these.
Get that Roman Reigns match. Yes, give me that Roman Reigns
Yes.
match. Keith Lee versus Roman. I need it.
Do you think there's a chance that they may bring up like Keith Lee, Riddle, Dijakovic, maybe like a Velveteen Dream? Do you think there's a chance because they can't really sign anyone at the
Do
moment
do
because of the
do like a
pandemic?
do like a
Could
mass call up.
Well, yeah. Do you reckon they could send some guys down, not down, but from like Raw and SmackDown, maybe like a Cesaro or a Sami
Yeah,
Zayn, some people just to because they're taking some big names. If they take any more, they're going to be thin on the ground in that male division. Like the women's division is so strong, but I think they could send some the other way.
yeah, they gonna send Goldberg to NXT.
Yeah, man, just to avoid Riddle. Um, so who did you say? Adam Cole. Yeah, I think Adam
Yeah,
Cole as well. Triple H said that match was amazing. By the way, in that call, did you hear that? He said it's not fully cinematic; it's more like a match. I think it'll probably be similar in terms of how they work it to the
no,
Champa match.
it's gonna be like if anybody ever played the old SmackDown versus Raw game, they used to have the backlight brawl with Eddie Guerrero. You had to beat
Yeah.
Eddie Guerrero and the low riders in the. I, th- I think that's exactly how it's gonna be. So yeah, but
if
yeah, I think
Velveteen
Adam Cole's
Dream
gonna win.
comes in and like a low rider, I'm going to be very
Tribute,
happy.
tribute to Eddie.
Finn Balor versus Damian Priest. You could also put Finn Balor in a match with Adam Cole for the title. I think would be quite an interesting feud as well.
I think Damian Priest gonna win.
Ooh,
He been losing too much, bro.
he has, but he's got the better of Finn in every single segment they've had. So if you go by WWE booking 101, that means Finn Balor will win the match. I also think there's a good chance that um, whilst for God's sake, I forgot his name. Whilst they wait for Killer Cross to be ready to take the title off Adam Cole, I wouldn't be surprised if they slotted Finn Balor up there for a short feud with Adam Cole. So
I'm still going Damian Priest.
I'm
I'm
going to go
going
with
Damian
Finn
Priest.
Balor.
I'm going against the system. I'm going against the podcast. I'm going against A.C.E Nation. Damian Priest is winning.
You're a rebel without a cause. What about Charlotte Flair, Rhea Ripley, and Io Shirai? Is this time to say goodbye to Charlotte Flair from all three brands?
I think so. I got a 2-part answer. I think either Charlotte Flair wins or Io Shirai wins and Io pins Charlotte. And I feel like I really don't know which way they're going to go. But I do feel like it's a possibility that Charlotte is going to retain. But I also think it's a possibility that Io is going to pin Charlotte and win the NXT Women's title. Because I feel
Yeah.
like I just like it's that one is kind of hard for me to call. Like it's like any way you could go. I don't think Rhea Ripley's winning at all.
No, me
So
either. I think it's going to be either Shirai or Charlotte.
Charlotte, yeah. But just for the sake of picking, I'm gonna go Charlotte.
I'm going
I'm
to
gonna
go
go
with Io
Charlotte.
Shirai. I think it's time, and I think that they really, really like Io Shirai, and I think it's time for Charlotte to leave NXT. I don't think Charlotte will be pinned. I think Io Shirai will pin Rhea
Rhea
Ripley.
Ripley.
And then we have Tommaso Ciampa versus Karrion Cross against
Ciampa.
Scarlett. Ciampa's going to win. Yeah. Okay.
It ain't no way.
You
No
said
way in
it now.
hell.
That's it. No getting out of it. But yeah, there's no way that Ciampa's winning this. I don't know. Do you think it's going to be clean?
Oh yeah, come on, man. Like
They
it's his
got to,
first
haven't they?
takeover. Yeah, you can't do him like that. It got to be a clean. Ciampa be alright. Ciampa don't lose no steam. He'll be alright. He
I
get
saw
over.
someone say on Twitter the other day that the Killer Cross can't work. He's got a good look, but his work is clumsy and rubbish. And I was like,
No,
oh my
because they've only
word.
seen him do squash matches. Like he hasn't had the opportunity to wrestle a drawn out match. Like if you go easily check out some of the stuff that he's done, like at Future Stars of Wrestling, or you can check out some of the stuff he's done in Impact, or
I was
check
gonna say
out
he did
anything
some
that
good
he's done
stuff in
in.
Impact.
You check out anything that he's done in AAA. He's done some stuff in bar wrestling. You can easily go look this stuff up and see what he's done. He can wrestle. Killer Cross is really good. He's really good.
People just want to be lazy, mate. And that's the NXT takeover in your house, and that is also this week's edition of Keeping It Real
With Andrew Thompson.
with Andrew Thompson, the man.
Yeah.
He's back from the grind. We will be back next week to review NXT takeover and all the bits of news from the week. Do you have anything you'd like to add, my friend?
Mm, just as far as what's going on in the world, as I said at the beginning of the podcast, educate yourself. Listen to black people when they try to tell you these things. Don't be an asshole in general, just in life. And, that's that.
Yeah, my new hashtag, which I've started months ago, but I'm bringing it back, is hashtag Don't Be a Dick, and you should take that advice into every aspect of your life, whether it's tweeting, speaking, how you treat people, whatever it may be. Hashtag Don't Be a Dick. Follow
There it
Andrew
is.
Thompson on Twitter at AD Thompson__, and make sure you subscribe to his YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/Andrew Thompson Interviews. It is a custom URL. He has hit over 200 subscribers, and he has excellent interviews with people from the wrestling world.
I'm going to start back up next week. So I've been taking a break this week from posting like my own work and stuff like that, just to focus on what's going on and make sure I'm retweeting all the petitions. And I'm gonna continue to do that, but I just wanted to take a break from focusing on myself this week. I wasn't trying to retweet anything that didn't anything with me in it that didn't have to do with what's going on in the world. So I'm just left that alone, and then next week I'll get back to somewhat promoting myself. Because I mean, at the end of the day, I still gotta do that. So
Yeah, man. Do you know
but
why that is? It's because you're a good guy, mate. It's because you care about people more than you care about yourself. And that's what it is.
yes.
This has been Keeping It Real with Andrew Thompson. This is Ace Podcast Nation. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. We're up to 778 subscribers, I believe.
Ooh,
And we're coming up to the 10,000 followers on Facebook, which is unbelievable. Thank you, everyone, for your support.
amazing.
Thank you for helping us grow. Let us know what you like, what you don't like, as usual. And you can also download the audio versions at all the usual podcasting apps. But yeah, thanks for
And
joining us.
shout
Go
out
on,
to
sorry,
Danny
bro.
Campbell, the legend.
Andy Campbell is a legend. You can
Andy
catch
Campbell.
us 7:30 Monday, every Monday. This week we're speaking to former England team director Adrian Bevington, who worked with some of the biggest names in world football, including Fabio Capello, Sven-Goran Eriksson, and many others. So he will have stories aplenty. And we also, if you follow the papers in the UK, you will have seen Ace Podcast Nation mentioned and linked this week, because on last week's show we had Cardiff City chairman Mehmet Dalman joined us in an exclusive interview, the only podcast he's ever done. He rarely does interviews, and I had him on with Andy, and we interviewed him, and newspapers picked it up, and I had to call one out because they didn't mention the podcast or link it, but most of the others did, which was cool. Andrew, it's a pleasure as always, my friend. People who watch and listen, we thank you. See you later.